With Brock Lesnar turning on his longtime advocate / manager Paul Heyman on Raw 2 weeks ago, its aftermath saw Heyman give an emotional interview, looking disheveled and uncertain about his current status with the Beast incarnate. The interview may have hinted at the possibility of him turning on the reigning Universal Champion and looking for a new representee in WWE, as it's almost certain that Lesnar will drop the championship at SummerSlam and leave WWE temporarily in preparation for his UFC return in 2019. Without Lesnar, Paul Heyman needs a new guy, but just who will this new guy be? In this video we look at 5 wrestlers rumoured to take that spot. Number 1. Bobby Lashley. Since Lashley's return to WWE on the Raw after WrestleMania, it's fair to say he really hasn't done much. WWE could have had another monster heel on their roster, as Lashley fits the size and power of the likes of Lesnar, but instead they chose to put him in awkward interviews, embarrassing segments with Sami Zayn, and just when it looked like WWE was putting him in the main event picture, getting a strong win over Reigns at Extreme Rules, they had him lose to him on Raw, instead making Reigns number 1 contender for the Universal Championship and Lashley's win at Extreme Rules totally pointless. If WWE wants to make use of Lashley and put him back into the spotlight, they need to turn him heel. The only problem is that Lashley's mild-mannered mic skills lack any oomph in promos, making them weak.
Bring me my title now.
The gentle approach on the microphone may work for heels like Jake the Snake Roberts and Bray Wyatt, but not for a powerhouse like Lashley. To solve his promo faux pas, Lashley needs to be paired with Heyman to take any weight off promos and concentrate purely on his heel gimmick, perhaps even turning him into the arrogant jock-like heel he was in Impact. It's clear WWE still has high hopes for Lashley, but the way he's been booked since his return is diminishing any possibility of a good run. His pairing with Heyman could help his character overall and make him a strong enough candidate to be the next Universal Champion. Number 2. Samoa Joe. Paul Heyman and Samoa Joe have had history with each other in the past, going all the way back at Extreme Rules 2017, where Joe became the number 1 contender for the Universal Championship. Even though he failed to capture the belt at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, he had a memorable encounter with Lesnar's advocate, trapping him in a coquina clutch on Raw. Whilst Joe is now on the blue brand chasing the WWE Championship from AJ Styles, he has recently shown interest in Heyman's services. In an interview with Planeta Wrestling, he commented, "Paul already had his opportunity to cross that line, and he missed his opportunity. Paul and I are businessmen, and if circumstances change again and we reach a mutual understanding, we'll see what happens in the future." Number 3. Lars Sullivan. It's possible that instead of Heyman joining a wrestler on the main roster, he could instead join a star on the rise in NXT and take them to the top. It appears as though Paul Heyman was spotted working in NXT with the behemoth Lars Sullivan. This of course has begun to fuel speculation that Sullivan could be the next guy. In a recent tweet, you can see photos of Heyman standing outside an NXT ring with Lars Sullivan inside seemingly taking advice or coaching from Heyman, with the caption, "Always learning." Standing at 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighing in at 306 pounds, Sullivan has all the attributes to be a major success on WWE's main roster one day. Number 4. Ronda Rousey. Now, even though the video is titled The Next Paul Heyman Guy, it doesn't necessarily mean WWE can't potentially look at a female pairing. They could shock fans and instead unexpectedly pair Heyman up with Ronda Rousey. The Wrestling Observer newsletter has noted in the past that Rousey wants to work with Heyman, but WWE has been hesitant to put the two together due to the likelihood of having to turn her heel. Rousey has been compared as being the female Brock Lesnar with a no-nonsense attitude and MMA background, so the two would be a good pairing. And number 5. Roman Reigns. WWE has tried everything to get the fans behind Roman Reigns, but nothing seems to be working. It's possible the only way fans will start cheering for him is if he turns heel, and a pairing with Paul Heyman seems to be the best choice. In an interview with NBC Sports, Reigns was asked about a possible pairing with him. "I think it would be really cool. Obviously it comes down to a couple of different things creatively, but I think it would be really neat. I think it would be able to show a different aspect of myself. The different things that we could do would be really cool. It would show not only myself, but also him in a totally different light. I wouldn't just be the guy bouncing around not saying anything. If there's something I need to say, I'm going to step up and say it. Because regardless, if I'm with a guy like Paul Heyman, I would not be a Paul Heyman guy. He would be a Roman Reigns guy. That's the way that would work. Unfortunately, it seems that recently Reigns has changed his mind about the idea and feels that his pairing with Heyman could mean less interaction with the audience. Nah, I like talking for myself. That's one thing I want to. Just a little longer promos, you know what I mean? Just me and the mic. That would be nice. Do a lot of interactive promos in the ring and stuff like that. So who do you guys think should be the next Paul Heyman guy? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.